Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Hollywood After Dark. Today, of course, is the 23rd of November, 2021. It is, quite frankly, Thanksgiving Eve. We have a hell of a banger of a show, Doomcock Exposed. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you guys doing? Welcome to the party. Tonight's going to be a lot of fun. It, of course, is, like I said, Thanksgiving Eve. I don't know what your plans are. Hawkeye, midnight, very soon. Get ready. Get hyped. Your nips so hard, they be cut in glass. At least that's what I'm hearing from people who have seen it. You lucky sons of bitches, you know who you are. But that's okay. We're close to it ourselves. It's going to be a grand old time. But today was fun because we finally got the exposed angle I was looking for. And it comes in a form of laziness. Mr. Cock, don't know what his first name is, could be Doom, could be Gil, could be whatever, got lazy in an attempt to capitalize on outrage that was manufactured by his own friends. And so to help join me in this particular discussion, this one is going to be quite a bit of fun tonight, we have Ty from Pop Culture Corner and Resident Justice, RJ. You all know him. You guys love him. They are here. We have Forced Adversities also in the chat. What's going on, Dane? How you doing, buddy? It's going to be a good night. Music Man asking how am I? I'm okay. It says he likes Ghostbusters. Awesome. I was going to go see that tonight. I was. And then I realized that, like, I'm so tired that I just need to do something that's going to keep me going. So, you know,
you've been running off low amounts of sleep.
Yeah, I was up until 5 o'clock this morning. I slept for 2 hours. And I'm literally right now, my blood is just Starbucks. So that is where my blood is today. And that's okay though. That's all right. That's usually what happens in these kind of situations. But it does bring us to the topic of the hour. I kind of want to keep it tight tonight, talk about the Doomcock situation, because as I've been going after Doomcock a little hard recently. You know, like we talked about him the other night with Kathy getting renewed, and of course how he's been crying and screeching all over social media about how he was right, and his fans have come in to argue that he was reporting on it months ago, but he heard about it on this show.
Woke Mikey Sutton.
Yeah, woke Mikey Sutton. Called him woke twice, trying to discredit Mikey Sutton, and that was a fun one to respond to because obviously he's trying to attack Mikey. And we know that then he had to agree with Mikey when other people started to corroborate it, and he realized that he was wrong. So he had to try to find a way to backpedal and to sidestep all of the allegations he had made and all of the Lucasfilm deep state rumors he had, you know, been privy to all of this time, you know. And it's really funny because he was really trying to. If I'm going to be crude for a moment, he was trying to suck his own dick. You know, like he was trying to suck his own dick with that. And I don't think it's going to work out very well. I just don't see it happening in the way that he wants it to, because he is kind of a moron.
Well, yeah, like I think you said the right word in this case. Like his video today is just pure laziness across the board. It's like so transparent. Like he's talking about a topic that we've debunked like a month ago. Like,
well, and the thing is, yeah, it's you know, there's been a person who's been kind of hanging around a lot with Doomcock and other people, and this is almost a point for point ripoff of that rumor or of that stuff. So this is where we're going to dive into this one. This is a video that he did today saying here that Feige wanted to kill off and degrade the Avengers to boost Captain Marvel in Endgame, source claims. Now, I mean, for one, that's pretty salacious, and it's in no way accurate.
Can I just say that the thumbnail's hilarious as well? He made him like purple to match Thanos.
He should have drawn a ball sack on the chin.
He should have drawn the
should have taken the time. I would have taken the time to draw. Yeah, it's a missed opportunity to just go into Photoshop and then embiggen the chin and then just draw wavy ball lines in it and then make it. Come on, Doomcock. I know you're lazy, but this is just super ass lazy.
Source he's saying is claiming that.
Yeah, I really wonder what source, guys. I mean, who's out there telling him?
Is it someone that doesn't blink and takes a lot of
Maybe,
methamphetamines?
I mean, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves here, but maybe, something there to consider. So here's what we'll do is we'll start off. We'll just go through this and listen to what he has to say. And I want you guys listening at home who are frequent viewers of this channel when we like to debunk bedpan to dipshit. I want you guys to see if anything of what he's saying here sounds remarkably familiar, perhaps even common in the last couple of weeks, because it might open your eyes a little bit. So let's take a look at this.
I'm about to share with you is correct. Kevin Feige is part of this woke movement, and with Avengers Endgame, Feige, it is claimed, did his damnedest to destroy the MCU, not like Thanos, but like Kurtzman and Kathleen Kennedy and Jar Jar Abrams.
Man, I used to think that Feige was on our side, as fans. The MCU was an amazing achievement, and it all came together so beautifully at the end. I thought Feige was one of us, Google Gobble. What you're saying, he's gone woke?
Oh yes, Harvey Cthulhu. Kevin Feige has gone over to the dark side of the farce. That much is clear from the upcoming slate of Phase 4 movies that are poised to turn the MCU into the MCU.
See, that's another thing right there too, is the MCU is now their go-to tagline.
That's the nerdrotic one.
That's the nerdrotic one.
I hate how that shit comes together so perfectly for these guys. Like, why does that have to be? Do you ever think, like, when Doomcock's suiting up for his videos, that he looks in the mirror and just says, "What the fuck am I doing?"
I mean, when he pulls a video like this out of his ass and it gets like 100,000 views in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, and it's over 10 minutes and there's multiple ad breaks.
Well, it's weird too because it's becoming more and more transparent that the joke is that Harvey is meant to be like his audience surrogate. Like he's like Harvey is our way into the Doomcock layer too.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, Feige was supposed to be one of us. It's like, no, Harvey, no, listener, he's not. I'm telling you.
No, he's woke.
Feige,
Wokety woke.
Feige is, and like I was telling Matt before the show started, generally, like if you talk to any comic book movie fan, even if they're not like a diehard MCU guy or gal, generally they'll say that like Kevin Feige is done a extraordinary job, like built something from the ground up, something that hasn't been done in film history to the degree. And like the fact that these guys are targeting him now all of a sudden, it's a joke. It's such a joke.
Yeah, and well, it is, and it goes to show you that they failed to take out Star Trek Discovery, which is now thriving. And with Star Trek Discovery, and then you have
but the ratings, Matt, the ratings,
I know. Oh my god. Paramount Plus is actually a pretty good streaming service that will only expand, considering the fact that even on Wednesday or Thursday, South Park movie's coming, the first one of this new deal, and that's going to be pretty big boom for them. And then you've got the fact that you got Picard, you got 3 Star Trek shows under Kurtzman, and also the Lower Decks. And that new one, that's the animated show in Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 5 total Star Trek series running concurrently, which has never happened before. So Star Trek is alive and well. It's growing. The fan base is growing. Then you talk about Star Wars. Star Wars is probably, as I would say in some cases, absolutely on the mend in regards to
especially on streaming.
On streaming, 100%. So he failed constantly by trying to claim that Kathy Kennedy was going to be fired, that the Veil of the Force was going to retcon the sequel trilogy. Everything he said always ended with the same 2 conclusions. She was going to be gone and the sequel trilogy was going to be retconned. Now she's a window dress, she's just put off in some corner somewhere, stripped of all of her power. And that is the narrative. That's where he wants to leave Kathy.
That she's president in name only.
Yeah. Right. But all while saying, I don't know who's taking over the company in her stead. Because if that was the case, who would be the shadow broker behind the scenes? Right. Obviously, he doesn't have a fucking answer for that because it doesn't fucking exist.
Right.
And then now he's moving over to trying to go after Marvel and Kevin Feige because this, of course, has been the maneuver for the Fandom Menace. If you want my honest opinion on this one, what a lot of this boils down to is he's on the outskirts with these guys. He has been for the longest fucking time. Ever since Ryan Kennel shredded him on Friday Night Tights, and Jeremy came out, with that excellent drop that just...
If you believe Doomcock's rumors, that's great. I don't.
That just kicked his ass.
Did
Then
it?
Gary's not doing the show with him anymore, the Inquisition show.
Yeah,
In fact,
they
they're-
pushed Doomcock to the side, basically.
They've excised him, just like they did with Mecha Random, but with Mecha Random, she had a freak out, and they just let her go.
Yeah. The difference
Here-
is that Doomcock still has a large platform and a large audience.
Oh, of
Did-
course.
Did Ryan Kennel did Ryan Kennel shred him while he was there?
No. They
Oh.
basically just on Friday Night Tights came out and said, Doomcock is full of shit. No one believes his rumors. And people on the thread are on the panel were laughing. And Gary, who was like Doomcock's bestest buddy ever, didn't say anything about it, didn't say a word about it. And just kind of like, and then let go. And then Doomcock went on Twitter and started just having this, like, we're talking like high school cheerleader level meltdown of like, no. Why aren't you guys protecting
Twitter
me?
posts and community posts about his audience, about him being attacked, and now he felt so upset, and he's just like, I don't know what I'm gonna
Oh,
do.
yeah. It was hysterical. It was like literally him crying until apparently him and, because even Doomcock was like, I've tried calling Jeremy. I have his number. He's not answering my call.
Oh my god!
Or did Jeremy try calling Doomcock and Doomcock? Either way, one of them wasn't answering.
It literally sounds like a cheerleader.
It's all high school cafeteria drama is all it is. And Jeremy had a great take. He's like, if I was one of our enemies, I would be loving this. And you know what? Much like McDonald's, I am loving it. Clearly, in my case, maybe a little bit too much. Got a little bit of that badunk in the trunk,
Right.
However, it's pretty funny. Lord Slicker says Gary later that week dumped Doomcock for AZ. Yeah, AZ is a lot like Az is definitely.
God, imagine thinking that Az is a better replacement than Doomcock. Well, they're both bad, but it's just like
They're
Az is
terrible
horrible.
people. They're terrible people. But this is kind of the whole thing. Is he's found himself in this corner. He's been relegated to the side of the Fandom Menace. He still has a large platform with a lot of devoted followers, and they do kind of need that echo chamber right now, considering they're getting kind of hit from all sides. Because everything that they've said.
Honestly, Matt, like you've been pointing out, though, 2021 has been a long game for them to start their campaign against the MCU. Ever since the start of the year, the Star Wars world was so dried up because all you really had was like Bad Batch, which I mean, outside the Omega thing, there really wasn't much to attack there.
And it was well received. He-Man was well received. When that came out. By the way, Masters of the Universe Revelation Part 2 is out, and it's metal.
Yeah, even though they're still making videos attacking it. Like, I saw Clownfish TV, Yellow Flash, all these old chud fucks talking about it, but...
no one cares about Clownfish
Chud.
anymore.
Chud. I love that word.
But,
really
but like I said, this year has been the year of Marvel. This has been the most content they probably have dropped in a long, long time. And you have Disney Plus stuff.
Well, 4 or 5 shows and 4 movies in a year, dude, that's like the most content they've ever put out.
And with the ever-present diversity and inclusion in these properties, the more and more and more and more these guys attack. So like, you know what I mean? They're loving that this is happening because it just gives them more content, because they've made a track record and a career out of being that racist.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's
the thing is, though, I don't think they were prepared, though, because the one thing I think they misunderstood is that the Marvel fan base skews a lot younger, especially the MCU fan base, but also, too, people actually liked this stuff. They're trying to paint it as if, people dipped. Remember when the BLM moment, or they call the BLM moment in Falcon Winter Soldier, people stopped watching it, it sucks. It's like people are like liking the content they dropped this year, and they're loving it, and they're watching it in droves. Right. When Shang-Chi came out and they were talking about the box office failures, Jeremy and Geeks and Gamers and all of them got a lot of pushback because guess what? People like the movie, even the people who hate the politics and all that, the weirdos, right? Like, they're like, no, guys, this is a good movie. It's like, that is the difference, right? I'm not sure why it's different, but it feels like there's more pushback with the Marvel stuff than there was to any other property they've ever attacked.
Well, I mean, yeah, they don't have Game of Thrones. I mean, everything else that they've attacked is kind of blown up in their face. And I think that that ultimately is where we find ourselves. But this video, I think, and again, it's going to blow up in his face because this is lazy. Let's keep going.
But what wasn't clear until I got this report from my Hollywood spies is just how overboard, how quickly and how utterly Feige was allegedly prepared to shit all over the original characters, to absolutely ruin them in Avengers Endgame to advance the woke cause.
Now listen to the specifics here, because I know you're entering the rumor zone and it's all speculation, but like, again, really pay attention to what he's saying.
At this point, I must tell you that what I'm about to share with you is information provided to me from sources claiming to have knowledge of the situation inside Marvel and Disney, but since I cannot personally verify any of this information, I must present this as unverified rumor and ask you to please take this with a grain of salt.
Lay it on me, dude. I mean, how bad could it be?
Plenty bad, Harvey. Metaphysically bad. Remember, Avengers Endgame was going to be the last hurrah for all of these legacy characters. The movie was going to be our last chance to see a lot of them. It was their victory lap, in a sense, the culmination of over 20 films over the span of a decade. So the way these characters were treated would essentially dictate how we would remember that body of work. And I am told that Feige did his level best to ruin the whole damn thing. Here's what I was told. My friends, this information comes from two separate sources. The first source alerted us to this quite a while ago, but my Hollywood spies simply did not believe this individual, and so they sat on it. But then one of our best sources recently not only confirmed this story, but added details of how Kevin Feige wanted to kill off the Avengers.
Oh shit, this is gonna be good. And by good, I mean bad.
So we all know
God, I hate
that
Harvey.
Black Widow was
Me
killed.
too.
That much Feige was able to get through. Apparently, being a strong woman wasn't good enough for her to continue. She couldn't continue because she's an actual likable character, a fan favorite. And since fans are perpetuating the corrupt evil of Western civilization, and since Black Widow would have made Brie Larson's Captain Marvel look like an irrelevant second banana, Black Widow had to go. The Hulk was also set to die, which is why he's not really featured prominently at the end of the movie. He wasn't supposed to be around anymore.
You talk about degrading legacy characters, and boy, they sure did that, didn't they? Where the poor Hulk is concerned. In Infinity War, Hulk actually ran away and hid. That is like Captain Kirk turning down hot green alien girl action. It's just not in his nature. The Hulk ran away from an ass whooping? Impossible! And then, in Endgame, the character of the Hulk was also degraded by turning him into a calm, reasonable scientist, like Weakling Banner. No.
Notice how they actually don't know anything about the comics.
I was gonna say, because Professor Hulk, they really
It's it's from the comics as well, and plus too, it's like, at the end of the day, he's a goddamn moron. But
there was that thing, right, that came out that said that Feige did.
Yes,
want
we're
to-
gonna get to that. We're gonna get to
Okay.
that. That is actually something that really did happen, but it's the spin about it is
Right.
the important part here.
because they make everything.
Because
They
they
take-
get
They take a story and run. They take the facts and they turn it and twist it into this political agenda. Why would Kevin Feige want to ruin the fucking the Avengers franchise? Like, it literally doesn't make sense. It contradicts itself.
because he's like, he wants Captain Marvel to be the next big thing. Again, this whole thing gets crazier.
No more rampaging for you, Hulk. So really, throughout both Infinity War and Endgame, Hulk was completely subverted. So much for the Hulk.
And it gets worse, Harvey. Feige allegedly wanted to give the short end of the stick to Thor in Endgame, literally. As Thor was to die in Endgame, he would have been run clean through and left to die on the battlefield like a skewered catfish. And Captain America? Oh, Feige, I am told, wanted something special for Captain America. After all, in all of the MCU, is there any character that more perfectly epitomizes Western civilization than Captain America? Is there any better symbolic way to punish Western civilization for its alleged abuses and excesses than to humiliate Captain America? My sources tell me that Feige wanted Captain America to literally be beaten to death.
Fucking hell, dude! Fucking hell! Just literally physically beaten until he croaked on camera?
That is what I'm told. I'm sure most SJWs would love to see that. See the
Has anyone ever come out against Captain America?
He's the most beloved character in the franchise.
Well, I'd say Iron Man, but I mean,
well, I don't know.
he's up
I
there.
think
He's up
after
there.
Winter Soldier and
It's
Civil
1 and
War,
2
kind of
though.
switched over.
Well, also Chris Evans is like a super big fucking lefty. And he's like
most of the SJWs love Captain America.
Yeah, they also love Chris Evans. And so they like Feige is
Well,
what
also
is
too,
he
like
upset that
yeah.
Chris Evans gets all the love and Feige doesn't?
Yeah, and it's like it's also too. It's so weird. He brings up like the Western civilization shit. It's like what?
Oh no! Again, that is going to come into play. The Western civilization stuff ties into the very beginning of the video, which I skipped past because I just wanted to get to this. But we are going to go back to the beginning because it ties into something else.
So basically, what he's saying is that they wanted to take Captain America, beat him on screen to death because that symbolizes beating Western civilization.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They wanted to beat Captain America to death to further damage America's standing, its morale. You know, it's morale and it's upset, you know, with that, so they feel defeated. So what would be the end game for Feige on this one? So Russia could come on in, or China could come on in.
China. Captain China, yeah.
Captain China. Didi Mao! Didi Mao! I've ever seen I think that's from fucking Deer Hunter, isn't it? Anyway, I know it's a Simpsons reference, I think, where they were making fun of Deer Hunter. But anyway, yeah, I'm telling you guys, like, he just gets nuts. But he continues.
You want to get nuts?
symbol of America and Western civilization pummeled into submission and ultimate defeat. Yeah, Avengers Endgame was going to be a real feel-good movie, folks, if these rumors are true. And of course, as we know, Tony Stark did die, but at least it was a heroic sacrifice that was somewhat in line with the plot. I don't like it, but I guess things happen that way, to quote Johnny Cash. Oddly enough, in this scenario, the only one of the old team to walk away alive was Hawkeye. And that presumably only so that his daughter could take his place in the MCU Phase 4. Yeah, like archery skill is hereditary. But
okay,
other than
stop.
His daughter's not taking his place.
Like Kate Bishop is not Hawkeye's daughter. Why do they keep saying?
Well, in the beginning, they might be thinking that because in the beginning of Endgame, he is teaching his daughter Violet, how to shoot, and he called her. I think he called her a natural.
Yeah, he calls her Hawkeye actually.
Yeah, and so they're just like,
Good job,
you see,
Hawkeye. And then she
but he keeps saying like, oh, they're gonna replace him with his daughter. Like, no, it's like you're not paying attention to what's going on. Like,
yeah, I think we've already established the fact that he's an idiot.
Yeah, he's just creating a narrative now, and people.
Well,
again,
it's just so annoying because a quick Google search can debunk that statement just by itself.
But you are expecting his audience to actually have critical thinking skills. These are the kind of people that think that critical race theory is, a Caucasian replacement theory.
I know, but it's like
these are the kind of people that were like, you know what sounds good to do on January 6th? Storm the Capitol.
Oh, jeez. You say that a lot, by the way. You bring that up a lot.
If I have not been proven wrong yet.
Yeah, he's not.
I mean, all things considered, Coach from Echo Based Network has been seen on Parler posting some comments about that kind of stuff.
I thought that was Nick.
No, it was actually Coach, because Nick doesn't like it when I remind him of the fact that his co-host is an insurrectionist, or at least is a person who is in support of the insurrection. Just to fuck those guys.
Do you think I'm having a lesbian filmmaker on the show tomorrow. Should I invite Doomcock to be my co-host?
I don't know.
Tell him to bring Harvey on, not himself. Just bring Harvey.
Dude, the Harvey thing really upsets me because, like, I can't take it seriously at all. I don't know about you guys. I know.
Well, it's weird too because someone in the chat brought up. It's like the way he constructs his videos. I can't tell if he's making them for idiots or for toddlers or for both. because the way he speaks and the way it's like he throws the puppet out there to be like, look at the silly little puppet, look at the puppet, look at the puppet. It's like,
Yeah,
are you
why
making
would
your
you
videos for
ever?
little kids?
Yeah, why would you ever look past my lies if I'm playing with a puppet? Right? Look at how cute I am. I dress up like a fucking toilet with my plush puppy with the beanie on. Look at me, I'm cute.
Well, the idea there is because it's so non-threatening
Exactly. that's what
that
I'm
you
getting.
can you can end up finding yourself like, oh yeah, he's just someone who's just saying something. But again, it's all through the repetition, and it's all through like, the 1950s aesthetic of it. HRS here with $2 says Matt Jarbo versus Doomcock, Dawn of Justice. Pretty much.
Dude, I would love if you got him in a stream and it was just a dead debate. Like fact versus fiction,
He wouldn't survive.
red versus
He would
blue,
not survive.
night versus day. Let's go.
Yeah. The thing is, those guys will not debate me, period. Because I will be honest, I won't play nice.
I'm
just like, I'm not even gonna like facilitate. So you might, they're like, no, but just like have a nice, even, rational. Just fuck that shit. All right, I'm coming in like Miley Cyrus, bitch. Like I'm just gonna swing on in like a 2-piece.
Yeah,
I'm on a wrecking ball.
that's a good drop. That's a good drop.
But it's the whole point is like I have contempt for this entire cadre of asshats, and it has everything to do with it's not even really their opinion, because you know what, like I have shitty opinions, other people have shitty opinions. I'm not even too worried about that, but it's that constant pushing of clearly false agendas and clearly false narratives and the
Like,
fake shit.
Honestly, what he's doing is dangerous. I know, like pop culture, I get it, right? Like it's just rumors, yada yada. But he is like, and I don't think people understand this, right? Is when Jeremy, when Ryan Kinnell, when Nerdrotic, when Doomcock, when they get you into that mode, they are altering the way you think. They want you, like, you start wanting to consume chaos, and you start searching it out. So yes, they're effectively not brainwash. I hate using that word, but they're changing the way the audience thinks, because everything becomes negative. Everything. Like, has this guy ever made a video about something good? Like just through and through good? Please find one.
I'm sure. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm sure at some point the answer to that is sure. Yeah, maybe at some point. But lately, again,
like this movie.
Yeah, I think at first they were all for The Mandalorian. But the thing is, they're at a point now where if they attack something before it comes out and it does well, they'll just drop it, and then they'll move on to something else. H Bart's here with another $2. Thanks, buddy. He says they fear Matt so much he eyed the Uber driver. Okay,
I like where you're going with that.
I think they call me the Uber driver. That's their nickname for me, right? Like, how in John Wick they referred to him as Baba Yaga.
Not so much. He is the Uber driver.
I am the Uber driver. Megapotastic here says he poisons the well, he poisons fandom and creates division among fans. That's very true.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole point. That's why I don't mind calling this shit out. People give me crap for it all the time. I get people like, hey, like, you know what? Hey, look, there were things to talk about today. All right, Fantastic Beasts 3 is a major one. But that can wait till tomorrow. That can wait till tomorrow.
Talk about.
Oh, well, it's like the plot synopsis for Fantastic Beasts 3 got leaked out. It was a threat a while ago, and then it turned into a reality. Right. So,
and then I do like, a lot of people have been like popping in my messages, sharing like the Henry Cavill thing, the Clay thing, like the concept art, and then Zach's clacker. And like, I just do want to say this: we are like the Snyder community. You guys look into shit way too far. They're like, oh my god, is it coincidence? Is it? Well, it can't be coincidence. It's like, maybe.
I mean, Zach, yeah, I'm sure they want to. I don't know. I got into a big thing with Enosh last night over Wayne T. Cars. So, I mean, it is what it is. But there's that. Yeah. Hold on.
I just got off topic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, definitely. Force Anniversary here says Uber Matt. That's right. Uber Mensch, but Uber Matt.
The Uber, the Uber guy to Uber Matt. There you go.
Yeah, I just, you know what? Because this is gonna sound so fucking narcissistic. The joke I wanted to make was like, in John Wick, they kept calling him Baba Yaga.
Oh yeah.
It's like that, but with facts.
Have you heard of the legend of the Uber driver?
He comes for you in the night, delivering truth and logic to dispel your evil soulless ways.
Oh Lord.
Find Christ, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway,
I was going to mention too. This is a short video from Doomcock.
Well, I also skipped ahead a few minutes,
okay.
So that's another reason too. But let's keep going.
Another pillar of Western civilization. What was Feige's alleged objective in all this? Well, here's where it really sucks, folks. Captain Marvel was supposed to pick up Cap's shield and become the de facto leader of the Avengers. Remember that shot at the end where it's an all-female force assembled? Fortunately, it was only one shot, not the entire final reel of the film, which is what I'm told Feige intended. The all-girl power at the end, a team of the bestest ever.
Hold on, real quick on that one. The final reel of the film, it's not in 35 millimeter anymore. It's all digital. There's no reels on movies anymore. Like, I used to break those movies apart. So it's like, this shows you how old
really
he
funny?
is.
Did you do projection?
I did projection, yeah.
My man.
What's also really funny about this? He's talking about, look at this shot of all the women running together. You remember that in the back there's a man behind them, Tom Holland.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, they act like there was no men in that scene.
Well, some people do view Tom Holland as a bitch.
I was just going to say that, bro.
I don't. I know.
Boy, you know what I was trying to say. Come on, leave the poor boy alone.
No, I love Tom Holland. I
love how he does the voice thing. Like he gets all high for it. Like, the best is ever. Dude, you can't. How can you look at that? How can you be like, yeah, that was it? That's
yeah. Ty, it's the same thing where Neurotica is like the whammon or like whammon this or like MCU, the way they pronounce it. It's like that's how they make the phrase stick in your brain when they have to do it in a silly voice. Because again, they're trying to appeal to people who have
here's
no brain.
The thing. Like, and honestly, I talked in the video I made today that was supposed to come out. I was talking about like Comicsgate, etc., and like I understand that sometimes, like for instance, The Flash, right? The show, The Flash, the shit with Iris West is wicked, way over the top. Like, it's so way over the top that it's very cringy. This though, that one quick scene, and then this like shot with them running together, this was tasteful, I thought, and it was like a nod to like a cool little moment. It seems like they don't attack the right stuff. Like, why don't they talk about Supergirl?
Because no one watches Supergirl.
Exactly.
I mean,
Supergirl, they could have a field day with that shit if they actually wanted to.
Oh yeah, wasn't there like a trans villain?
Bad. Yeah, it was bad.
It's like, I mean, yeah. There's the thing is like no one. The amount of people that watch, that actually watch the CW shows are like their ratings are really not good. But then again, the range of the CW is small. Hold on here. Right. Matthew Valente for $5 says, okay, why is showing all the female characters in one shot a bad thing? So Matthew, it's really not. It's not a bad thing at all. I think to a lot of people, and myself included, I think coming off of Captain Marvel as a mediocre movie, and I liked Captain Marvel in Endgame, by the way. I liked Brie Larson. Cool, yeah. I thought she was a lot better. Well, and the thing is, they shot her scenes in the opening of Endgame. They shot those scenes before shooting the movie.
Didn't they shoot all of her scenes before she shot Captain Marvel?
I believe so, yeah. But her first time in costume was on the first day. So the
Russos were the first ones to really use her.
Yeah, and that's why she had so much makeup on in that scene, because her team was like, we don't really know what to do, and they didn't really know how to make it work, and so that's why it feels as awkward as it does, because for one, it's meant to be awkward. Who's this outsider? We don't know who you are. Two, behind the scenes, This was her first day as the character in a
Right.
room with Chris Hemsworth, with Captain America, Chris Evans,
Seasoned
Scarlett Johansson.
veterans.
Everyone is there. And she's now that newcomer that's got to like step up and like have that attitude. And that's kind of the whole fucking point is like, yeah, they're like, where have you been? And she's like, I got to represent the other side of that, but she hasn't shot anything yet to fall back on. So, I mean, it might come across as a bit rigid, but again, just if you look at it from everything, you can start to understand why the performance is what it is.
Well, I
and-
was gonna say in regards to this scene, right? It's like people miss the point of it because the whole idea is that this scene is meant to invoke fan service. Now you might be saying, "Oh, I don't really care if I see all the female characters running together and doing this epic fight." Some people in the audience did. I remember that got a big cheer, especially from the women in my crowd. That entire third act is meant to pay fan service to every fan,
Yeah.
no matter what gender,
The on your
ethnicity,
left.
whatever. Yeah.
right? Like
Right.
on your left, and then you start hearing like the theme song as everything opens up and everyone comes together. That shot we had heard rumored about for so long, for so many years,
The
was
Avengers
right
Assemble
there.
scene, too.
Yeah, Avengers Assemble, and you're like, yeah, like
And
that
let's-
whole thing is fan service, and it fucking works.
And let's talk about, okay, so just going down the line real quick. Gamora, known badass. Known.
Yep.
Right? Everyone loves her. Everybody. Ant-Man's girl. I always forget her name. Well, yeah, I know she's the
Yeah,
Wasp,
it's
but what's her name?
Hope Van Dyne.
Hope Van, yeah. So she's awesome. I don't think she gets enough credit. Nebula, awesome. And then we can skip a little bit. Shuri and then Wanda, right? All badasses. And
Hey,
then
what about Pepper and Mantis?
yeah, well, listen, Pepper should not be here. I really didn't like that. I didn't.
Nah, dude, nah. I'm gonna push back on that, man. Rescue was awesome. All right, like getting us full on rescue.
Everybody's wanted
But
to see
she-
Rescue. Everyone wanted to see Rescue since Iron Man 3. So it's
Right,
cool to get that
but like
payoff.
her showing up and just being like, yeah, cool. I haven't suited up at all ever, but now I'm in the biggest fight with the most badass villains. Like that was a little much.
No,
I thought.
she kind of suited up in Iron Man 3 a little bit, like not
Okay,
much, but
Taking
and we
on
don't know
that
what he taught
young-
her.
I get it.
It's
it.
fan
All right, it was
service.
rescue.
Like,
Yeah, it was
it's
rescue.
fan
I was
service.
then-
totally okay with that.
Right. Okay. All right. Whatever.
The only thing I had a
But what I'm
problem with.
getting at- what I'm getting at though is all these women have proven themselves time and time again in the MCU as being able to handle themselves. And like they're not just women in this shot, they're fucking heroes and they're saving the goddamn day. Like
Yeah.
they're saving the world. That's whether or not they have this
Well-
genital or that genital, or that they're this color or that color, doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, and to your point as well, Ty, these are characters that built up a fan base as well, each and every one of them, because they put in the work as you described. They put in the work to make you care about all of them for the most
Mhm.
part.
Yeah.
So it's like, why would you not want to see the fruition of seeing all those characters come together,
Yeah.
regardless of what gender they are? You know, so
I mean, I didn't. The scene. I mean, look, the scene was fan service a little bit on the pandering side to an extent, but I don't care. I don't like begrudge the scene, and I don't hate it. I don't groan at it. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, it's cooler the more I watched it. A little eye rolling the first time, and then I think that even like has been criticized recently by something. But anyway, it's really like, but it's not what Doomcock is saying that it is.
well, it's not like this 30-second scene doesn't ruin the movie like Odin's movie blog did. I remember infamously when he's like, they had this massive woke moment that killed the third act for me. I'm like, oh fuck yourself.
Like if
Odin.
that ruins a movie for you, you have so many issues that you need to stop projecting outward and start looking inward.
Yeah. Well,
Because
he's
this isn't
Catholic.
the problem. They are. Like you're the problem, not that.
Yeah, I know. Force Dane here says, "What kind of business wouldn't want to cater to more than half the population?" Exactly. But apparently, to the guys who look to these boomers, that's what they are. They're boomers. They're SJW boomers, is all they are. Matthew Valente here with another $5. Thank you. Says nothing wrong with Marvel trying to appeal to the female audience as well. Just my opinion. No, dude, not at all, man. Like I for one am excited to see what Wakanda Forever brings. Anything more with Wanda, I can't wait to see what happens with that. Gamora, I mean, what's going to go on with that shit? You know, like in Nebula and like that relationship of how that's going to come about again, because that was a big thing in the first two Guardians. So yeah, there's a lot there. These characters have had progression over years, and that's why the franchise is as big as it is. So the Crawling Chaos here says, I mean, when I was a kid, superhero stuff was consumed mostly by males for sure, which was a bit sad. These days there are way more women into nerd stuff, which I like. Oh dude, I wish, like, I mean, when I was like that, like when I was a kid, the nerd shit was all by dudes, but nowadays you go to, like, there's tons of women that are just into geeky shit, and you're like, well, I could have been getting so fucking laid back in the day, like, be like, hey girl, you like Pogs? Fuck you, I'll play some GoldenEye multiplayer, like,
Right.
my N64.
Right.
Right. I'm just saying, it's like, nowadays it's like you get a lot more of that stuff. And it's great.
Dude, I was
Anyway.
talking about not to, like, just real quick. I was talking about I was talking to someone, and I needed a graphic made for something in the future with Jeffrey Ford, who's an editor for Marvel. And one of the girls that I work with, she was like, "Hey, he's from Marvel Studios, right?" And I looked at her, I was like, "Well, yes, he is." And, like, I was like, she just, like, now I kind of want to marry her a little bit. I hope she's not watching, but you know what I mean? That's more and more present. She knew who he was because she said she saw his name during Falcon Winter Soldier credits. And that's how I knew she wasn't bullshitting me. Like, she didn't hear me say it. I was like, damn,
Yeah.
all right, cool.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, there have been a few that I've met like that over the years. Like at Comic-Con, there's a couple of girls I met at Comic-Con when I was younger. One of them was from like Denmark, and we like hit it off really well, but like,
Ask Faggy how I was at Comic-Con. Say my head was going multiple ways.
oh dude, live in LA for a while, you just stop. you just become numb to rubbernecking. You know what I mean? You're just all like, at first you're like boing, 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 boing. You have ADHD. It's just, you're
Right.
everywhere. And then, like, you're there for a while and you're just like, okay. Like, you're like, all right. Then the key boils down to like the attitude. But that's a whole other conversation here. But we have directed by Clay Campbell here for an Australian $8. Thank you, sir. Says, hey, if you want more low hanging fruit from the right wing YouTubers, look up Theories. I don't know who that is. But we do. You know what, man? For that one, we haven't done it yet. Maybe we need to, because Chud Watch. I need more drops. I still like that. Wow. But all right, let's get back into the Theories, Tharries. Okay. Let's see. Spherical Man says it's Jarbo Ty. Of course, there's no women watching. There's some, okay. Like, I look at my analytics, all right, and there's like 6% women, okay. Like, there's like 6%, but when I do the true crime stuff, it's like 70% women.
Really?
It's a whole thing, dude. I've talked to women about this. They like true crime because it makes them scared, but it's a safe kind of scared. So they can kind of learn about the terrible shit that probably happens to women, to be honest with you.
Oh, that's terrible.
And they do it from like the safety. It's a weird thing.
Of a headphone.
The safety of their headphones,
Right.
Yeah, it's as South Park has dubbed it, it's informational murder porn.
Dude,
and that is one of my
true
favorite.
crime is one of, like, it took off. It took off. And I'm surprised at how many shows there are of it now.
You'll there's never a slowdown of human suffering, and it's always very very profitable. Like I said, like I said about Squid Game, for example. I love Squid Game. I adore Squid Game. That show is depressing. And it's depressing because human suffering is front, center, and apparent.
Right.
And it is literally a crux for entertainment. And that is the thing, is like you're like, oh shit, as you're watching people just be mercilessly slaughtered for breaking a cookie.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, it's a lot like that. But anyway,
one last thing.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I kind of forget what I was going to say now. All right, continue, because I forgot.
All right.
I had a good thing. I really did. It was good.
No, I know. It will come back to you. You'll definitely tell me.
Was supposed to beat Thanos. That's right. It was going to be just the ladies taking Thanos out, succeeding where all the men had failed.
Actually, real quick, that's bullshit.
That is so bullshit.
Because the core trinity of the Avengers team has always been Iron Man, Cap, and Thor. And if you watch, again, they faced Loki, right? They were together in Avengers Infinity War. They were there, with Ultron. And then when it came to the snap, the three of them were still alive to face Thanos together as a team. That was always the arc. So this is,
especially when they're walking onto the battlefield alone at that beginning stage.
yeah.
Like it was, that was supposed to be that way. And this is nonsense at this point.
Yeah. At this point, he's just making it up because he's just trying to like pander to the guys. Like, no, wait, no, they were going to, women can't fight. Oh my God, they're for making babies in soup. Because that's the kind of shit they believe. That's the kind of shit they believe.
It's true.
That's the kind of stuff they believe. But anyway.
Cap had been beaten to death, Thor run through, the Hulk snapped away. Captain Marvel was going to save the day. It's Ray all over again, multiplied 10 times worse than Ray. All the male characters defeated, degraded, and disposed of. Then the women come and defeat the last man standing, Thanos.
So what the hell happened, dude? What prevented Feige from pulling this off?
We have the Russo brothers to thank for preventing this disaster, according to
Here
my
we go.
sources. The Russo brothers absolutely rebelled against this repulsive ending, and they threatened to walk off the film. This would have been not only a PR disaster, but a practical one that would have delayed the film and possibly damaged it beyond repair. In the end, the Russo brothers won this fight, I am told, with the help of Bob Chapek and key investors who sided with Chapek and the Russos before this plan could be implemented.
So, on that note,
this gets good now.
I would like to very much teach you all a history lesson. Because if you pay attention to what he said there, that Kevin Feige wanted to come out and do all this, but the Russos threatened to quit, which no, they didn't. And they did this with the help of Bob Chapek and other key investors. Now, Chapek, at the time, was not CEO of the company, and I can prove that very simply. So the key thing here to remember is when you look up Wikipedia, you can look up here for this is for Infinity War and Endgame, the production of them, and it says here principal photography began August 10th, 2017, under the working title Mary Lou 2. It shot until I think it finished up completely, and this is including reshoots on both films, or at least for Endgame, and concluded on October 12th, 2018. And then reshoots occurred again in January of 2019, and this was all the stuff for New Asgard. So that had nothing to do with Captain Marvel or the final shot there that he's talking about. So, okay, what about Bob Chapek? Well, according to the Walt Disney website, Bob Chapek named Chief Executive Officer of the Walt Disney Company February 25th, 2020. So a full year and some change, or 13 months from when the reshoots of Endgame happened that had nothing to do with the finale of that movie, and to when Bob Chapek was named as the successor to Bob Iger's legacy. So how exactly did Mr. Chapek influence this movie when he wasn't in any position to even do so at the time, when he was overseeing the parks department at the time?
Right, because fucking roller coasters get
basically he's
decision making.
He's a huge bullshit artist and liar.
So yeah, at that point,
you know what he would say though, right? Like if he was here right now, you know what he would say. Well, Bob Chapek maybe he was only doing the parks, but he knew that he was taking over, and he was working behind the scenes for much longer. Like that's exactly what his answer would be.
Well,
like there's some fucking conspiracy that Chapek was already took the job way before. Yeah, God, I hate this guy so much.
But that's kind of the whole point, though, is like he's sitting there and he's making all these comments, and you can go and you can find factual information that disproves that by over an entire calendar year. And so, again, while he's saying that these are rumors and take them with a grain of salt and all speculation, It's a outright fallacy, debunked right here. But again, he keeps going. Real quick here, hold on. Matthew Valente here for $5, buddy. Thank you. Says if SJWs care about diversity so goddamn much, why do they not care about the rights of the great apes? They're people, you know. Wait, what?
I have no clue.
The rights of great
Like
is that's not a euphemism, is it?
no.
I don't know. That's a good say.
What was the gorilla's name again?
Grodd?
No, dude.
Wait,
the
wrong franchise.
Harambe.
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 Rip Harambe.
Remember when that was a big thing?
I mean, I was pissed. I was so pissed when Harambe died. I was so mad.
Remember when somebody went up to Danny Trejo and they got him to say "dicks out" for Harambe?
No, but that sounds like something Trejo would do. And then hold on, Matthew Valente here with with another one.
You already read
He just no, he did it twice.
He did?
Yeah, he did it twice. Okay.
He did.
What exactly do you mean by the great apes there? They do not care about the rights of the great apes. They're people too.
I spent $10 on this. We need to,
and I want to give an accurate, I want to accurately represent his thoughts. I don't know what he means.
We got to figure this one out now.
Yeah, he'll come back. There we go.
He's
But guinea pig
making
here.
a joke. I'm trying to understand.
Probably
Yeah,
making a joke.
I
I'm
was
sure it's a
gonna say-
joke, but I would love context. I need context at this point.
I was gonna
Uh,
say
but-
Bob Chapek must be using the time travel shit.
Yeah, there you
that
go.
the
He's
Avengers
he's
use.
using the TARDIS. There you go. Yeah, here we go. Super cool, man. Ooh, I know this one, Mr. Charpo. They used Endgame time travel.
Oh, I just
Yeah.
said that.
There we go.
Yay.
Yes, I know Hawkeye dropped. Oh, they dropped it an hour early. Wow, cool. I'll watch it again.
There's
I'm
no
gonna
way
watch
they
it.
dropped an hour early. There's
I don't
no
know.
way.
Oh, I'm watching it in the morning. I'm not even watching it tonight.
They have a track record of doing shit like that.
Yeah, they do. They do. Good for them. Good for them. All right, let's. We're getting close to this one here, but let's see.
So there you go, folks. A tale of disaster narrowly averted. And a warning. If this is the mindset at the helm of the
Okay, so we have that, right? We have that whole scenario there. But here, did you guys notice though the one thing that he talked about how the Russos were going to save it, but he didn't talk about where he's referring to that whole thing as being a rumor, right? But he doesn't talk about where that particular piece of information came from. And that has everything to do with this article right here. And this is not just from, Screen Rant. But this is what's floating around. And this particular article comes into play here in a second. But Endgame almost killed all 6 Avengers. And so this was a big headline, right? And so they're talking about the Russo brothers. And they talk here saying this is what it was. Kevin's initial pitch was that it was Toy Story 3. They're all going to jump into a furnace together concept, reveals Joe Russo. The brothers' pushback was that there was no possible way for the story to be able to take the time to celebrate each one of them, and that for the fans was an impossible scenario to walk out of the theaters and process. And that's a good argument on their point. And Feige, his argument was also good, because if you guys remember watching fucking Toy Story 3 when it came out 11 years ago, which is so weird to think, and the first time you saw that fucking movie and they go into that furnace and they are there and they are getting ready.
You're like, holy shit, they might actually kill all of them.
Like, you're thinking they're going to kill him. Like, holy shit, this just got dark. Oh my God, they're all there together.
Just the threat, because it's impending threats. Like, if they're going to go out, they're holding hands. They're all going to go out together.
It's that, and it's the acknowledgement of what is of the reality between Woody and Buzz. That silent acknowledgement.
Yeah, where Buzz just like nods at him and holds his hand, like
and then they're all going out together. That's what it was.
It was a full circle moment.
Exactly. That's what he's talking about here. So that's what he was trying to argue. Was like, well, is there a way we can make that happen?
And it's also important to acknowledge where the hell this quote came from, which
they
always ignore.
They always ignored this, and this right here, story of Marvel Studios, the making of the Marvel Cinematic Universe,
which is an official book that's licensed by Disney about the making of the MCU that Kevin Feige is a part of, that Robert Downey Jr. is a part of, that I own in the bookshelf behind me and can fucking read to you. Okay.
Can we also talk about the fact that it's the job of Kevin Feige to propose ideas, and it's also kind of cool that when the directors in this case say, listen, total respect to you, but we don't think we can do that and service the fans. That Kevin understood and stood down and was like, okay, that makes sense. This is a good thing actually, because the creative process, I just used that because I saw it. That lets us know that at Marvel, they're at least concerned with like how it's going to affect us. And like, this should be overall a good thing if you think about it.
It is. It's a collaborative process between the directors and the producer. And the thing is, there is no the saying is that there's no I in filmmaking, you know, because it's a team effort. It's a team effort, and you have to. And yeah, sure, there's two eyes in filmmaking, but it's like, you know, the idea there is that it's collaborative, and the actors are always going to have their takes on it, and the directors and the producers, and it's all about trying to find the right way to make it work. Exactly. And that's all it was. But this context is lost all the time because it conveniently destroys their narrative. Real quick here, Matthew Valenti with another $5. Thanks, buddy. Says, I mean, apes like gorillas and orangutans are people too. Well, I mean, are you talking about like the evolution process? Like we came from gorillas and orangutans?
I mean, we share like a hefty amount of DNA with them. I agree.
Sure. I wish I was hairy as a orangutan. I mean,
what?
You know,
why?
Because I got thinning hairline, dude. This guy's just like, they rock it all the time. It's like mullet city.
Oh my god.
You know, I mean, they all look like Kid Rock, but with better bodies. Yeah. It's very.
Did you see? I was on Forced Adversity, and there was a video, and like people thought I actually I'm not gonna say it because I really don't know, but
what the new Kid Rock song?
Yeah, people thought it was a Weird Al thing.
Yeah, Weird Al came out today and was all like, "It's not me.
It's actually not me. That's really Kid Rock."
Yeah, I watched it. Here, I'll look. Here's I'll admit something. I've always enjoyed Kid Rock's music. I don't know why. I just, you know what? Maybe it's that white trash suburbanite, you know, in me. I like to devil without a cause, you know, from back in '99. Been a long time. Anyway, okay. Matthew, another one says, no, they're individuals. Wait, they're individs.
That's probably like a term or something.
Can someone Google that, please? I really don't know. Thank you. They're individual. I
can't believe how much money is being spent right now to talk about apes.
Shh.
I'm sorry.
And then H Bart's here with $5. Thank you, buddy. Says we share a common ancestor. We went one way, apes. Oh, we went one way, apes went the other. So what you're saying is that really the MGTOW movement started with that. Sorry, that's an obscure thing. The MGTOW movement stands for men going their own way.
I'm looking up.
It's like an incel. I don't want to say it's an incel movement, but
I'm looking up in Davdils or whatever, and I can't find shit. So
yeah. So, I mean, Matthew, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it. I just don't know what you're trying to say, and that's okay. And so just to kind of go back to it, so that article talking about
it just annoys me because anybody can go and buy that book or look where it comes from, and they're like misconstruing that book. That's literally an MCU approved, Kevin Feige approved thing. It's like, come on, dude.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I get what you're trying to say there. So I think that it's like, you know, I get it. I just think that
it annoys me because you understand this. Like, this stuff is so easily disputable and debunkable. It's like, why aren't people acknowledging this? And like, I don't know. It's so much more frustrating, you know?
Yeah. And then Matthew here says individuals. They are individuals.
They are individuals. Okay.
I mean, but we don't assign them the same rights, so I don't know.
Well, they have personalities and they have emotions.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're still animals, but like they're
individuals like us. Okay. I get what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying.
We should have like an entire stream dedicated to like the thesis about are apes humans or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. Feel free to set that one up, man. We'll talk. We'll find some anthropologists, get them in there, talk about the study of old apes and everything. Or we could just watch Congo.
Yes, I'm down for that.
Right. Have you ever seen Congo? It's a great movie.
Has Tim Curry and Ernie Hudson in it.
And Bruce Campbell and Laura Linney.
We don't talk about the Bruce Campbell parts. That pissed me off. I was pissed off.
Dude, I was so mad when I first saw that movie because I was like, Bruce Campbell's in it. Hell yeah. And then he dies like 2 minutes into the film, and you're like, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. I love Bruce Campbell. Also, was it From Dusk Till Dawn 2? Has Tiffany Amber Thiessen and Bruce Campbell in the intro, the cold open of the movie, and they both die within the first like 5 minutes, and then like that's it. But they got him in the movie just to be able to put him like on the box art or something like that. Anyway, yeah, it's a whole thing with that movie. But the reason why the article surrounding the Avengers killing off the 6 is because it ties into this right here. And this, of course, is our good friends over at Midnight's Edge. You know, Andre, Tom, and Cameron Pasha. El Senor don't blinks a lot.
I if anyone knows me by now, they know that I really dislike this Cameron guy.
Yeah.
Like more than anything.
Yeah. H. Schwartz here says, ever heard of the Gombe Chimpanzee War? I have. It's an interesting story. Count Dankula covered it if you're looking for that breakdown. And then Mo here for $2, buddy. Thank you. Says, how did you know that I was the source of Doom Boy? Well, it's not hard. It's very. Donovan here says Midnight's Edge has fallen. Yvonne here says Cameron versus a weeping angel. But here's why I want you to pay attention to this. So this is actually from an episode. When was this from? This was from, if I could scroll down, God damn it, October 29th, 2021. Okay. So
almost
just
a full month ago.
Almost a full month ago. And I know I've covered this before. So this is why it's important here. But like, if you just listen to like what they're trying to establish, and I'm just going to kind of let this play through. We have commented over it before, but really I just want to let Cameron
just
talk.
let it run. Yeah.
But also listen to Andre and how he sets this thing up. And Andre's a smart guy, and he knows he's full of shit. He knows Cameron's full of shit. But he's playing it up because he knows he's so ingrained into that world that he's got no better choice. So here we go.
And Tom, will you bring the story up?
Let's see here. We have I had it in the wrong spot. Now I got it.
But this is one of the worst
There
ones.
we go.
Yeah, well, they spoke out on the whole Scarlett Johansson thing, and then there was something else they had just said they had.
Sorry, they just talked about the Russos speaking out on the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit because they were in support of Scarlett Johansson. And then they're trying to argue that is somehow against Kevin Feige. But that's
to
what
fight for with Infinity War. And now they're talking about Endgame, I believe. If I'm not mistaken. So here we go. Endgame almost killed all 6 original Avengers. And it was funny, Andre, right after we finished our show last time when we brought this up, I had somebody contact me and tell me that this is very true, even though we already knew coming from the Russos, like they had said they heard the same damn thing. Mm-hmm. And it reminded me of that interview roughly around this time when Kevin Feige was like, oh yeah, we can completely replace all these characters with new younger people and blah, 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 blah. That I think was his fucking plan from day one.
I think so too. I'm beginning to think that Kevin Feige may have gotten a lot more credit that he deserves for the success of the MCU and everything. Now, I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve any. I mean, obviously, he's done amazing. He has done what no producer has done it before. But for much of the build-up, he had some unsung heroes with him that guided him the right way. Much the same way that George Lucas kind of like took the credit for the original Star Wars, but in reality, there were other people there that often.
Yes, those people are Lou D'Esposito, Victoria Alonso over on the Marvel executive side. The Disney Studio side would be Alan Horn, the guy in charge of that, and then his number 2, Alan Braverman, who were working with Kevin Feige as well as going to Bob Iger to establish the buildup for the MCU. Feige was the creative architect of everything, but when it came to the distribution, when it came to the marketing, when it came to all the other things that they needed to do to make it work, he did have a lot of help from a lot of people. And I just feel like, again, they're trying to make it out to be that Feige's got no talent, and that it's really all the Russos that he had.
Put some pretty significant help along the way. And the moment that Lucas got rid of those people and he was left entirely to his own devices and his own vision, he did the prequel trilogy. And now, after Kevin Feige got rid of everyone that could oppose him or try to keep him in check, we got what many disaffectionately are calling the MCU.
But notice how they're not elaborating on that. Now, I personally don't know if they've elaborated on that on other videos or other streams, but something about that makes absolutely no sense to me. Who did Kevin Feige get rid of that could oppose him? It's really only one person, and they kind of touch upon that here. But they make it out to be like he's gone through and cleaned house with everybody.
Yeah, like he's getting rid of like every writer, every director, every other executive underneath him. It's like he's kept the exact same team around him the entire time.
Yeah. So it's a very weird scenario, but let's go on.
And that appears to have been like the plan for a very long time. And this is kind of like what the Russos are saying here. They're basically saying that, yeah, Kevin Feige, he wanted to kill them all, and he wanted to go in new, diverse, more exciting directions that audience presumably would flock to. Now, Commandant, was there any particular part of this article that stuck out to you?
Yeah.
That you really want
to highlight? Hold on. I want to hear that again just because.
Did I just hear Commandant?
No. He says Cameron. He says Cameron. You know, he's pronounced Cameron or Cameron, but he adds an extra syllable in there.
It's just the way he talks. It sounds bad.
My lord, I just almost shit.
Yeah. No. I know. Trust me. You're not the first person who's made that claim. But did you catch that bit there about going in new and diverse ways? Right. It just kind of came out of left field. Let's see if I caught that.
Audience presumably would flock to. Yeah, Kevin Feige, he wanted to kill them all, and he wanted to go in new, diverse, more exciting directions that audience.
See, they use diverse as a buzzword.
Now, Commandant, was there any particular part of this article that stuck out to you that you really want to highlight before getting into why is this out of the blue coming out now?
I gotta acknowledge this one on screen real quick. All new, all different Feige.
Look at his fucking face, dude. Oh my god.
No, I know, man. I know. But did you catch that thing there too, where they go, what is this about this article? And then that would come out of the blue, right? Mm-hmm. Never mind. The article fully explains,
right?
Because that is the article that I just had on screen. And it explains exactly what it is. And so there's no research here. They're going strictly for the headlines. And then they're going to let Cameron explain it, which is, again, the most fascinating part.
Best full live gaming. Thank you for that. Sorry, Cameron. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. What I would like to acknowledge is the very fact that it come out at all. We're going to talk about why it's coming out now because there's a reason for that. But the very fact that the Russos would ever say something like this and say this in public, is shocking because it violates sort of Hollywood PR. It is an aggressive act. It is an act to embarrass someone who was one of your bosses, right? Because the fans generally didn't respond well to that information. That most people didn't say, oh, "Wow, I wish Feige had done that." Right? I wish they had killed off all the characters, right? All the main ones we cared about. I wish the Hulk was dead. I don't think most people want that. And so when you reveal something like that, its intention is to make someone look bad. Because I get stupid notes all the time from producers and studio executives, and you just don't go in public in the media and say this person gave you a note that you know is going to outrage the audience when they hear about it. And we're going to talk about why that was done, because that to me is the most remarkable thing that this is being done in public.
Did any of that make any sense?
No.
Yeah,
No.
Not one bit of it made any sense. Where it's like it's a PR attack, but it's a quote from a book. Well, it came out of nowhere.
Kevin put out.
Yeah, which had it's just a quote from a book, and none of them acknowledge what it's from. And I don't know if that is willful or dumb.
Again, I think you're right. I think they look. I think it's a classic case of headline skimming, and all they really see is the bold black letters. They don't they don't do they're expecting Cameron to be the dude that breaks it down for them and spoon feeds it to people, but in reality, all you have to do is read a little bit into it and be like, oh, okay, that wouldn't make sense.
I do have to give credit here to Fandom Menace Els, says Cameron Pasha is the Linwood of Hollywood insiders, or he could be the My Pillow guy, hey there,
Lindell.
Mike Lindell, hold on. You know what they say there, guys over here, Midnight's Edge. I'm Cameron Pasha. I've done work on a little Showtime show you might have heard of called Sleeper Cell. I was a producer on, I don't know, like an episode or something. But I'm going to tell you what I learned doing some, some sniffy sniff over there at a Hollywood party. I talked to someone who says they know Kathy Kennedy, but, like they just drive her car. And they told me that it's all whack over there, but like, don't take my fucking word for it, you guys. Like, buy a fucking pillow. I've been working on my Lindell. It's not great, but I've been working on it.
It's pretty damn good.
I wanted the higher pitch of it though, because he's got that higher pitch angle.
No, don't do that.
B here says, "Leave my pillow alone, Mike Pillow alone." Let's see here. Rainbow says Cameron Pasha is false native. I don't know.
He's definitely not he's definitely not human.
Clearly he is of human. He's a humanoid to some extent, I guess. Although was it Megapodtastic just DM'd me and said that Cameron Pasha looks like Mr. Clean.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. But all right, let's keep
the white shirt really sells it.
Yeah, man. It really does. Put a gold earring on there and just be like, all right, Cameron, here's your new job, buddy. All right, here's a Swiffer sweeper. All right, I want this whole place fucking spotless. Sell it, baby. Fucking sell it, baby. All right.
Yeah, and it's not the first time either, because like they came out and they trashed the Loki series before. And this was shortly...
They didn't trash the Loki series. They posted a meme on Instagram.
No, Matt. They hated the Infinity Stones gag. They felt it was so disrespectful. So they posted a meme.
The Russo brothers, because there was in Loki when they found all the Infinity Stones, and then like they're like, here these mean nothing, and then they made a joke about it as these are paperweights. And then the Russos like made a crack about it in response, but it was a playful, jovial jab back. They were having fun with it. But here Andre's like, no, they had to come out and they talk shit about Loki. That's not talking shit. This is
also like there's so many holes in that too. Like the Russos, honestly, like, yeah, they did Infinity War and Endgame, but the fucking Stones have been prevalent in the first 20 movies. So like the fact that the Russos would take super offense to it is stupid. Like it again.
Well, to me, what that means is like it just means that we have now moved past that threat and we're now on to the next threat. Exactly. Like is Galactus going to make fun of Kang the Conqueror, or what about Doctor Doom? Like, are they going to sit there and look back at the previous enemy and just go like, fuck that guy?
Well, it's the visual confirmation that we've moved on to something even greater than what we understood.
Yeah.
It's like remember these? Well, you don't even know what's coming.
Like you have no idea. Remember how this decimated half the life in the universe? Here, they mean fucking nothing. They're literal paperweights. So get wrecked, bitch.
Infinity Stones? Hold my beer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm just saying, it's just they're reading into this stuff in a way that is so monumentally disingenuous. But but looking at the Doomcock video, we're kind of starting to see a thread emerge here, right? Like you see a pattern. Exactly. And so again, like he's going to start going in to everything with all this.
After the Scarlett Johansson lawsuit hit, where the Russos went out and they criticized the Loki series and their handling of the MCU and the implications for free will.
None of that is true, by the way.
And they didn't use those exact words, but they kind of implied that they retroactively destroyed the MCU.
No, they didn't. That is such hyperbole and goalpost moving and reaching. Like at this point, Andre has become Reed Richards for how far he is stretching shit.
Oh, great!
You
That
know.
was a fucking dope
Oh,
thing.
sorry. Hold on, Miss Marvel, because I know that's going to probably trigger him. You know, and big in your fucking shit, Andre.
How long have you been holstering that one?
You know what? That actually literally just came to me.
That was dope.
That
a
was
good one.
that was yeah. I occasionally I make a good funny.
I think we should start painting the narrative. I'm being dead serious. I think because of how absurd it will be, I think we should start theorizing that Cameron is an alien and how not human he is, because that makes about as much sense as what the fuck they're saying.
Well,
here.
here's what we do. In every single thumbnail, Matt, where you talk about him, we're gonna they put like the red laser eyes and the fire and all that. We're just gonna like Photoshop him to look like an alien or put like a little green
with a big ass head,
ray
big ass
guns and like
eyes.
little twigs and everything, antennas.
There is a higher chance that he is an alien than any of this is true. Like, it's
Well,
sad to say.
remember though, this is the same guy who was on a live stream with Doomcock not long ago, talking about how they were like wanting to use, someone was remote viewing into Kathy Kennedy's office, and he's like, yes, right? And then the guy's like, "We'll show you how to do it, Cameron." He's like, "Oh, my mother did that." And then someone sent me a thing the other day where he's on another podcast and he's talking about how fucking Bigfoot is an interdimensional being, and now granted, I'll be fair, I've had that thought myself, but in jest and everything, but he was out there talking about that.
Can you send me that?
I'll have to find it, send it to you.
Oh God, yes.
It's fucking hysterical because that's the whole notion here. This guy just says shit. And now he's saying it, and here a couple weeks later, Doomcock is trying to, eke it into a video. He's trying to
repaint it.
Yeah, he's trying to repaint it in order to make it out. But we can see that this is the direct origin, especially as we get further into this. Where's it at? Oh, hold on.
Yeah, and so now it leads us to why is this coming out, right? And so that's the bigger question here. And I wrote about this on my Patreon the moment I heard about this, and my opinion is that this is what we predicted, or what I predicted on Midnight's Edge, that Kevin Feige's time is up. Chapek has decided he wants this guy out. Feige led a foolish and poorly thought out rebellion against Bob Chapek, as we talked about here. He likely told his friend Scarlett Johansson, "I think you got screwed. I think you should sue for all of us." And then Scarlett Johansson figured out she wasn't going to win this lawsuit, and this was damaging her career. And so she settled it, leaving Feige out in the dust alone with no.
Sorry, I have to pause right there for a reason, because I don't have the clip itself. But
Can I?
I know, but hold on.
Well, while you do that, I just want to say that I've never seen this video. If you go back up to my comment earlier, I said how many times is it going to relate it to like rebellions and war and fucking uprisings. That was he did it already. I just want to say that I was right. He loves that shit.
So this is from I want to say a couple days. I just want to make sure my dates are right. The last one was from the okay, this is from November 5th, right? The other one is from
October 29th.
October, right? So this is a couple days. It's like a week later. Okay, so a week
This is right when
later,
Eternals came out.
Yeah. So this is a week later that he is on with Midnight's Edge talking about it again. And, I think I'm keyed up to the right spot. I might not be, so it might be a second or two to get there. But listen to what he says.
Points, because I've been wondering where and when this conflict between these two figures began.
He's talking about Feige and
Chapek. Yep. I don't think there ever was a conflict between Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Chapek. I don't think she ever went at him. I think she just went at people that messed up the money bottom line, and Chapek's like, I got to fix this problem, right? And he fixed it. Whereas Feige and him seem to be at loggerheads. I'm like, where did this begin? So Doomcock, our friend, is reporting that it began about a year ago when Iger was still going to these meetings, which suggests, this was the moment where Chapek still wasn't in charge, right? And Iger was the real shadow king. But Chapek was preparing for his moment, and he was heavily prepared. And so apparently Feige was stunned when Chapek's like, I know this character, and I hear the sales of this character's books, Riri Williams. Nobody's buying this book, right? Why are you doing this? And this was the moment where I think Feige realized, oh, this guy's actually going to try to do his job instead of being the fake CEO, and he's doing research on me. This guy's coming for me. So Feige woke up to that, right? Because he got embarrassed in front of the board. That wasn't Feige thought this was just going to be, kiss-a-thon, everyone's going to kiss his butt, right? And make him look good at the board, I'm sure as Iger had done for years. And now he'd been embarrassed in front of very powerful people when he couldn't come up with an intelligent response beyond just trust me, right? So that was when his ego was activated. He's like, who's this guy? Who's this guy?
Did they remove you into that?
I'm going to take him down. That was a mistake. And then we saw the events that happened all this year. The pivotal event, which is the second thing that our friend Doomcock said, which is that Scarlett Johansson strangely filed a lawsuit after Black Widow against Disney, claiming that they by releasing it simultaneously on streaming, she lost a lot of money from her bonus that she was supposed to get from theatrical. And at the time, I was like, this makes no sense. She's been around the block for 20 years plus, right? And she knows you don't sue Disney. You're powerful enough that her agent can have one phone call with Chapek and there's a handshake and it's finished. And Disney claimed that in its legal filings that we'd resolved this. We had given her everything she wanted. Where is this coming from? And so the logic made no sense. And then she suddenly settled out of nowhere, exactly at the moment when Shang-Chi started tanking, and then put out this wonderful...
Which we also proved the other day was fake.
What the fuck is he talking about? First off, he's acting like Chapek or Iger's a fake CEO. Okay, how the fuck did you run Disney this entire time up until now then?
Yeah.
He's one of those... You can hate the man, but, like, he's an intelligent CEO. They're like Feige, some bumbling idiot. Like, the way he doesn't understand Hollywood. I'm sorry. He doesn't understand anything.
Yeah, just by listening to that, if you had no idea like who these people were or anything like that, you would think Kevin Feige was a dumb, right? Like doesn't know anything. You would think that there's legitimately a shadow king somewhere. Like what?
Well, yeah, it's like they're acting like they're stupid enough not to realize that. Like, how else would you get to this point then? It's just so stupid. It's so dumb.
I don't think Shang-Chi ever tanked, did it?
No. We looked at where it was at the time of November 5th. I think we did this the other day when we responded to this, and it was actually still doing pretty good for that time. And again, it's like when Shang-Chi, they started saying this, anything they can to push the narrative that Shang-Chi was tanking. But again, listening to everything he is saying here, none of it makes any fucking sense, especially what he was talking about in that other video clip. But again, there's some more here.
I feel like they constantly gerrymander
press release of
how you draw their lines.
They do. They very much do. It's the only way for them to stay in power.
Be doing this Tower of Terror, whatever. So I was like, all this feels to me like a storyline. It didn't feel like natural human behavior under these circumstances. And then when Doomcock revealed the shocking thing that he's hearing from his sources, that apparently when Feige said to her, which I always believed he had, hey, Scarlett, baby, can you just, this guy wants to give money. Can you just sue him? And we're going to take him down together. It's you and me together, baby, right? And she's like, uh-huh. And she went straight to Bob Chapek's office and said, this guy's trying to screw with you. And Chapek's like, thank you for letting me know. Let's play with this. Let's put him in a position where, everyone, because Chapek, we've seen, will take the humiliation.
Can you pause it real quick? I hate to but I wanted to bring something up. This comment's even fucking hilarious, even more hilarious in context, because Feige came out and said, oh yeah, me and Scarlett, we're working together on a secret project that she's producing. So
yeah, exactly. She's producing a Marvel project. It's not Black Widow.
Don't forget, Disney's working with her on Tower of Terror.
On Tower of Terror, yeah. So, now, is it possible that the settlement from that lawsuit is what I know that's what facilitated the bringing back of the Tower of Terror movie, and then they might have tacked this thing on as well, or what they were working on in the process.
Yeah, that's very plausible.
I'm just saying, even just like a couple months, like a month later, he looks even dumber. It's just funny to me.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. But we can see here that based upon some of these things, I just wanted to touch on that little bit for a second there to give you an idea of like, again, like just kind of how fucking nuts he is in regards to just like all that particular shit. But he still goes on with this. And and again, this is from a couple days prior to this, but it's laying the groundwork for the Doomcock video. I mean, clearly at this point, I'm pretty sure you guys probably agree with like I do. The Cameron Pasha is Doomcock source, and whether or not it is, you know, it's on purpose or not. And I have an argument to make for that when we're done with this.
When you propose that idea, right, and you actually have done the work and thought about it, it is so clear. Like it makes so much sense.
It not only does it make sense, it also proves to me that it's all one giant bullshit circle.
Echo chambery.
Yep. It's basically like Midnight's Edge and Doomcock are using this guy, basically double fucking him to get the information they want. Like, it's just bizarre to me.
And look at who he is.
Because they can claim he's a Hollywood insider because
that's what I'm saying.
Tron Uprising. It's like, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Look at who Cameron is fundamentally, right? He's someone that they think has ties into Disney and Marvel because he always says he does. Like, it makes so much sense now that I think about it that this dude is the fucking source. And like, all we really need to do is prove him wrong, and then the rest of it crumbles.
Yep. And well, and the thing is it's not hard to prove his ass wrong because everything he says is basically bullshit. And what does he keep talking about? Look, here's the thing. This is this whole situation is it's a circle jerk of convenience is what it is. So, and let me explain as to why. So Cameron here is used by Andre and by Doomcock to come on out as more or less that the fake, right? The fake source, the fake insider. He can come out and say, "Oh, I've got this stuff. I got this insight." And they validate him, right? And then he goes and he pushes his Patreon. He mentioned this a couple times. So you can go for $5 a month, $10 a month, or $20 a month. And he has about right now 142 patrons, you know? And so 142 people are paying him something a month in order to get this bullshit. And so it's all a money-making scheme because Andre will do videos that will use Cameron Pasha as the source. Doomcock, this video that he put out clearly references this the scenario that they're talking about here, clearly references this fake fight between Bob Chapek and Kevin Feige. It outright lies about when Chapek was involved in the process, as proven here. And but then they're not going to call out Cameron. And then in fact, Cameron gets to then go around as this news begins to spread, and he gets to go to other podcasts like the Pop Culture Minefield guys right here that brought him on to talk about, is this the fall of the king, in order to push the concept of Kevin Feige being ousted and Cameron knowing all the inside track. And again, you can, on that particular podcast, it's literally just him regurgitating every single thing he said right here while providing absolutely zero pieces of information that that you can corroborate, or anything out there that even makes any bit of fucking sense.
See, this is what confuses me too. Like, obviously, we know Doomcock's a fucking moron, and I guess he was. What confuses me is, why didn't he make this video sooner? Why did it take him all this time? And why is it that he's only regurgitating this information like a month and a half later? That's what is confusing me.
I mean, well, because he needs something. You know, he got the Kathleen Kennedy situation. It fucked him up.
It crumbled
right?
them.
If it like, that's the whole thing, is like, he's not gonna, he's at this point now, she's been renewed. So, what is that going to do? Like, what does that mean? Well, she's been renewed. Star Wars is going to go terrible. So we can't argue that narrative anymore. Now we have to argue the narrative.
At least for a while, they can't.
At least for a while, yeah. So now they have to move over to Marvel, because Marvel again has all the projects this year, you know, by coming out and calling it woke, by coming out and calling it terrible, all this kind of shit. It finds itself in the position of being attacked, because these people, again, this is like a fucking virus, dude. All of this shit is like a fucking virus, and it's all tying into something specifically. And that is what I wanted to touch on. I wanted to touch upon this again, going back to the beginning of that Doomcock video, because we jumped into it about 3 minutes in to get into the whole rumor shit. But there's a preamble here. And to me, this is the most important part. The preamble, this is showing you exactly what his motivation is. And we know this by watching his content, that he is outright a fucking fascist. And I don't know if Forced Adversity is still here. He hasn't commented in a while. So I don't know if he's still here or not, but I think he would agree with me that that is what Doomcock absolutely is. So let's just give a listen to the opening of this particular video.
I am Victor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and I am here today because my Hollywood spies have unearthed some allegations regarding what Kevin Feige actually wanted to do in Avengers Endgame, and I can tell you, it's mind-blowingly awful. I mean, I've heard some terrible ideas in my day, Star Trek Discovery being most of them, but the details of this particular rumor are particularly stunning because, as you will see by the end of this video, if Feige had his way, the legacy characters of the MCU would have been cast aside like garbage, humiliated and destroyed, in order to boost Captain Marvel and her MCU cohorts and to ram them down our throats. When you hear the terrible details, folks, you'll understand what I'm talking about, but I have to tell you, I was horrified.
You know, a lot of people felt like Avengers Endgame cheated with that whole alternate timeline, time travel story. And while I liked it at first, as time has gone on, it feels more disjointed to me.
No one has said that.
Yeah, like what is he talking about?
Like the only way that it could have been done.
People, I mean, for the most part, I mean, there's some people who have issues with like the time travel narrative and some of the mechanics of how they explain how it works. For example, Enosh, we've had debates about that, but no one like downright hates the movies. Like, oh my god,
yeah, I know, but he understands. But Enosh will also be the first to be like, yeah, but the Flash can run back in time and change everything. So, I mean, come on.
But that's only one timeline. But again, the multiverse is real. Anyway, we're not going to dwell on that. Yeah, we love Enoch here. We're just giving him a hard time. But that's the whole point, right? Is arguing the time travel aspect of it. No one makes that comment of it. In fact, the concept of that whole situation in Endgame is tied into Loki. And I would argue many of the TVA had to probably go in and fix a lot of that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's, again, further implications down the road. They were setting things up for the long game. It just goes to show you that that there's no critical thought in any of this from these guys. But okay, let's keep going.
Somehow it doesn't all quite mesh together.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Harvey Cthulhu. I really liked Endgame at the time, but as far as the disjointed quality goes, it's precisely because of what Feige tried to do with the film, and the patchwork and revisions that it took to undo the damage that Feige almost inflicted. I've always said that my rumored videos are like the proverbial canary in a coal mine. It's important for fans.
Confirmation bias.
To have some heads up on bad things that may be coming their way. At the very least, it saves them the $12 for a ticket, but at the higher end of the spectrum, these heads up videos may prevent someone from seeing something that they can never unsee. This is particularly important in this insane era, where corporations are more interested in indoctrinating audiences rather than in entertaining them. It seems that a lot of times, these companies do terrible things to the legacy characters of these franchises, either killing them outright or humiliating and degrading them in order to repudiate the past. These people view Western civilization as an irredeemably evil construct responsible for most of the evil in the world. Pop culture is part of that larger civilization, and thus they believe that pop culture must be deconstructed as part of the larger aim of deconstructing Western civilization. And all of us, being fans of pop culture, are also part of the problem in their eyes, because in our aesthetic appreciation of Star Trek and Star Wars and Doctor Who and so on, we are perpetuating the values and ideals of Western civilization, and therefore we must be punished, demoralized, and repelled away from loving these franchises. Essentially, they want to wreck Western civilization because ists and phobes and so on, yada yada yada, all lies, but whatever. So they are wrecking pop culture one franchise at a time, hoping to consign you and your civilization to the dustbin of history, to be replaced with a hive mind woke wonderland of conformity, orthodoxy, and political correctness to the nth degree. And I'm sorry to tell you that if the information I'm about to share with you is correct, Kevin Feige is part of this woke movement, and with Avengers Endgame, Feige, it is claimed, did his...
All right, so we already watched that part. But I mean, like, how unyieldingly insane is that shit? Right? Like, they want to destroy Western civilization. They hate you for liking Western civilization. They hate you for liking pop culture. They want to use pop culture to destroy you.
It's so hyperbolic and ridiculous.
But they are part of Western civilization, Matt.
Yeah.
They thrive on it.
Yeah.
Because we pay to see the movies and shit. I just don't understand why they have these thoughts. It doesn't make sense to me, though.
Well, they have those thoughts because they don't have anything else going on in their life. Like, they have to create, if they don't create a villain, then they have to maybe face their own demons. And a lot of them don't want to face their own demons.
It's like, do we really think that Kevin Feige wants to destroy Western civilization? Now, just say it with me.
I know. Say it out loud, right?
Wants to destroy Western civilization like he's some fucking tyrant who wants to rule the world but have it back into the dark ages. What the fuck? It sounds like a bad movie.
Well, Spherical Mander says Doctor Who isn't Western civilization. No, Western civilization does encompass the UK as well.
It's
any advanced
America.
Yeah.
It's
so
pretty much any. It's not third world countries.
I also say it's not like Japan or China or Korea as well. That's Eastern civilization.
Yeah, I'd say that. But the reason why he says those things and he says it like that is to frame the argument that Feige is the bad guy before going into his bullshit.
Well, it's trying to frame it that this is bigger than just a movie. This is like a fight for like our culture.
You know what I don't?
And you know what that? Well, hold on. You know what that reminded me of? It reminded me of this. Now, if you don't know what this is,
I think I know what it is.
This is the Commandant.
Okay.
A particular user on. You might have heard him referred to as the BitChute Nazi.
Right.
You know, I don't know if you know, we don't know who this guy is. Speculation abound about who potentially he might be. I don't know. I just work here. But I want you guys to, like, again, just the first little bit of this, just to kind of see, you know, I mean, something about this is kind of like really familiar, kind of lining up a little bit, you know, and maybe there's a bit of a connection here. So let's just take a listen.
Aryans and honorary Aryans. The first shots have been fired, blood has been spilled, and territory captured. By every definition, we are at war. We are faced with an enemy that has openly declared its intention to extinguish our race, destroy our civilization, and erase our memory. There is no reasoning with this enemy. They are as insane as they are inhuman.
Yeah.
They are driven by self-loathing and the delusional dream of a communist utopia in which the Aryan race does not exist to remind them of their own genetic worthlessness. Like all parasites, they contribute nothing and have no place in the natural order.
Sounds really familiar, doesn't it?
Right. And
like super familiar.
Well, the mannerisms of the body as well, I would say.
You know, yeah. And you know what's really kind of interesting about that, just as a hold on, let me kind of bring this information together. I mean, because I don't know what I'm looking for here, guys.
So Mega Mike says he sounds more like Darth Vader. Why do you think that would be? Right? Because maybe he has a love for pop culture as well. Maybe Star Wars in particular.
Maybe.
Could it be that they're one and the same?
Dun dun dun.
And then he just drapes this fucking flag in front of whatever green screen he uses to make Harvey in
Yeah.
the same exact camera in the same exact spot in the same angle.
And the same breathing pattern and the same hand movements and the same
Yep.
pre-recorded dialogue
Yeah.
and the
Some of the
same
talking points.
talking points. And yeah, I mean, everything is all about the saving of Western culture.
Okay, so here's the thing. Either they're the same person or Doomcock is like the most massive Commandant fan on the planet and wants to emulate his hero, which either way, it's not fucking good.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the whole point is like, and Commandant is still putting out videos. Yeah, I think he just put out a video this week.
No way.
Actually.
Is he?
Yeah, he's putting out videos like the Kyle Rittenhouse thing popped up and everything else. Now, Sam here says whether or not they're the same person, they promote the same ideology.
Exactly.
Very similar.
And
that should be your
even if
takeaway,
it's-
especially. Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's Doomcock's like no good brother, right? Like it doesn't make a difference, honestly, because there are people like this in the world, and like that scares me a little bit.
Well, the people like him, like he's trying to build an audience of people on both fronts. Very similar to how Geeks and Gamers uses park hopping and like
Yeah, I don't
sports
know what
wars.
that means, though.
Well, what park hopping is?
Yeah, like
Well, they go to Disneyland or Disney World and like Universal Studios in Florida, and they go to they do vlog content from the different parks, and they brand it under Geeks and Gamers, and so that gets into the YouTube algorithm under the theme park and entertainment side of things.
okay, and they promote fucking alt-right shit.
Well, I mean, like not necessarily like not through that, but it's tied into Geeks and Gamers, which they can then go, oh, by the way, we have another channel, Geeks and Gamers, come check us out, and then that could be used as maybe a recruitment tool or something along those lines. And honestly, like that's your mileage may vary on that particular comment, but I think that there's definitely things there.
Okay.
But I'm just saying it's like looking at let's see, Jason here says, oh my god, Doomcock is Commandant but with a lower tech mask. I mean, that's my opinion. I believe they're the same person. Absolutely. I believe Cameron Pasha is part of the echo chamber that creates bullshit narratives, especially by trying to argue that Kevin Feige is in a fight with Bob Chapek for some reason, and Chapek somehow was magically able to get things done when he wasn't even CEO of the company a full year before he even became CEO of the company. So none of it makes any sense. And it's one of those scenarios where you just have to kind of look at it and then come to your own conclusion that his source, because that's what I said, is his source exposed? I think the answer to that is yes.
I think we stumbled upon. Well, I mean, I think you helped us stumble upon it as well, but I think we stumbled across something like legit. Like actually, I'm surprised we hadn't thought of it before.
Well, the bullshit cycle, it permeates itself in like, let's say, the Fandom Menace with how they report on certain news and how they do certain things. And, and again, like this is the same concept, but it's a feedback loop where it's kind of in between both of those channels. And they prop up Cameron Pasha and they validate Cameron Pasha. He profits financially off of that. They profit financially off of what he has to say. And then from there, they kind of all play dumb.
It's a mutual parasitic nature, like a relationship. They feed off each other. They both make money. It's good for both of them. and yeah, like you said, it's they gain by continuing this narrative.
Exactly. And my whole point of doing this stream was the whole notion of like taking a good look at what he has to say and breaking it down across the fact that it's BS. And I know that a lot of his audience are going to come on in and they're going to be all like about it.
Do you really get that many Doomcock fanboys?
I get a couple here and there that get all butthurt.
I'm surprised that it's not more though, legitimately, but I have a feeling that's like anyone who criticizes Doomcock, they don't want to get into a real debate with people like us because they know, I hope at least, it's like they understand that they would just get shredded.
How do you defend bullshit at the end
Exactly,
of the day?
that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, again, it's all about how they feel. That's really what it boils down to. Is like it just boils down to how they feel and all that stuff. And so when you because I got one comment today from someone. I'll give it a read. Let's see here. All right, filter not held for review. Okay. So someone had said to me, okay, so this guy here says, not a big fan of Doomcock. I don't agree with him on a number of things, but I do watch his videos for curiosity. And he's been saying for months now that KK would be renewed. Months since late summer. You're either ignorant or a liar. He had a whole string of videos about this, admitting he was wrong and disappointed. Based on his videos, if I believed his sources, which he says when it's rumor or not, then I knew about the renewal months ago because of him, and he was right about indie months before it hits mainstream. Fan or not, you're being clickbait, which you claim him of being. And I'm like, but wait, what about, see again, then he goes, and also he was right about indie. What was he right about indie?
Maybe the time travel plot. I know some people are speculating that is a legit thing, but we don't
I've heard that speculated as well, and I will have ultimately say, please no, don't. I don't want that myself. But again, it's like people have come back to me and said, well, he was right about the Rise of Skywalker. And it's like, no, those leaks came out of Reddit. And then it's like, but what about the fact that he kept saying for years that Kennedy was going to be fired? That somehow gets lost in translation with these people.
How do we just overlook that? And then, when he calls you, what did he say? Something about, oh, he admitted he was wrong, yada, yada, yada. He says when it's rumor or not. Here's the thing. He may say eventually, like for instance, this video that we just watched, right?
Yeah.
For the first 3 minutes, for longer than that, for the first 6 minutes, he's talking about it like it's true, right? He's like, you're going to be angry when you hear what Kevin Feige was trying to do. He's painting it as truth, and then needs to remind you halfway, maybe a little bit more, oh, by the way, it's just a rumor. And then goes back to painting it as a truth. That's not being sincere. No, he's painting a narrative. And he doesn't give a fuck that it's a rumor and it's fake. Like, that's the thing is he may say, oh, take it with a grain of salt, but he's posing it as truth always.
Yeah, exactly. And his audience 100% fails to acknowledge that. But on that note, guys, I've got to get to bed.
Yeah,
it is midnight now. Yeah.
Hawkeye's out.
And Hawkeye's now up. If you want to see real good entertainment, Hawkeye. I haven't seen it. These two guys have. Don't ask them how. They won't tell you. But they have seen it and they say it's really good. I want to go watch it, but I'm going to watch it in the morning. In the meantime, I'm going to get some sleep. I do appreciate everyone tuning into this. We had 126 people watching. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah.
If you want to leave a like, it helps support the channel. If you want to become a channel member, it helps support the channel. Either way, my crusade here is not to cancel Doomcock. He can have whatever opinion he wants. All I ask is truth in reporting. I don't believe that's that hard to ask. And I would love it if these guys who have a platform, who have the ability to actually influence people's minds over pop culture and what's going on, whether you like it or not, you will at least come at it factually and not rely on someone who is clearly mentally insane and is just you bring him on to parade him around to make shit up that you then confirm in order to make more money. It is terrible. But in the meantime, Kathleen Kennedy, she's still around. She ain't going nowhere. Kevin Wars.
Feige's sure not going anywhere.
Kevin Feige ain't going nowhere, man. Ain't going nowhere. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has made over $20 billion for Disney.
Can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
Ty, this is not a spoiler, but it is something I noticed while watching Hawkeye, and some of the reviews have mentioned this too. This is the very first Marvel thing that opens with the title card saying a Kevin Feige production.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right.
So that man ain't going nowhere, okay?
Yeah. Right. He is now Spike
He's
Lee.
literally now putting his name on every show now.
good.
Because he
That way
watched
you know.
Doomcock and he was like, "Fuck, man, now I gotta put my name on this shit."
Yeah, so when
Exactly.
you watch Hot Night, notice that they say a Kevin Feige production.
By the way,
guys.
I'm having a lesbian filmmaker on tomorrow, and Doomcock is my co-host. So come and check it out. It's gonna be really fun.
All right. Well, that's going to be a blast. Yeah, I'll definitely check that one out for curiosity's sake. You know, and but in the meantime, guys, I will talk to you all later. Have yourself a great night. Thank you again.
Happy holidays to everybody.
Happy holidays. I'll be on tomorrow night because I have nothing else going on, I think. All right. I'll see